Hey, it's Katherine Norland. Listen, I want to talk to you guys about stressing out, freaking out about problems in life, especially money problems. Ugh! Oh my gosh, I don't have enough money for this, I don't have money for this bill, my car broke down, what am I going to do now? This is terrible. How is this we lost money. Okay, here's a very important piece of advice for you. If the problem that you are freaking out about can be solved with money, then you don't need to stress about it. Hold that thought. Hi. So listen, if your problem can be solved with money, then you don't need to stress about it. Your loved one did not get paralyzed. They did not contract a deadly disease. They did not lose a limb. That's right. They did not die. So don't freak out about it. If the problem can be solved with money, don't freak out about it. I know money issues are huge and they can be stressful if we let them. I've heard statistics saying that money issues are the #1 cause for people getting divorced. And those pretty earrings, don't rip them out. But money issues are not worth freaking out about. And they're not worth causing yourself more stress. Isn't life stressful enough? Let's not put more stress on us than necessary and blowing things way out of proportion and causing fights between you and your mate. Okay, so really, I got really upset a while ago because I lost $545 on plane tickets I purchased and the airline wouldn't even offer me a credit towards new dates for these airline tickets I paid $545 for. And when I found out I needed to change the dates due to something that was out of my control, even though I let the airline know months in advance that they could have resold my ticket, it wasn't like the day of or the week of, and it didn't go that way. Now, I didn't have access to more money at the time, and I didn't have excess money. I was working hard trying to save and stay out of debt, and wasting or borrowing any money, it seems like a catastrophe. I know. When it happened to me a few years ago, I really lost it. Ugh. And you know what? I had to pay extra money to take my family on vacation, and it was non-refundable. So, you know what? Between the vacation money, the money I lost, and then the ticket loss, knowing I had saved for this vacation for over 2 years, I allowed it to send me into a tailspin. Because when something bad happens, we go to the list all of the negative things. So then I remembered all the other debts, and I remember all the other things we couldn't get or do, and I had this helpless feeling, and I was crying, and I was letting all of the memories stack up about all of the other times that I had lost money, or I had been cheated, or I wasn't able to get a refund, and all of the sacrifices that I had to make, and I let it make me really upset. I let it make me upset. But one thing we need to do when something like this happens is to put it in perspective and to let that one event stand alone. Okay, I lost $545 on this plane ticket. If that was a standalone event, that would have been much easier to stomach. If it was just that one little thing and if I didn't tie everything else together that was similar to what happened, it wouldn't have been as bad. If I didn't let the vacation money loss, then to the airplane ticket loss, and then I tied that to the other recent losses and all of the sacrifices made and how hard I've had to work at my life, and without anything to show for it, it seemed like at the time, and I allowed myself to go on and on. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't have spiraled down. You know, that thinking about all these other times that all these other bad things happen to you. You see how this plays out in your life. Somebody breaks up with you, and then you start thinking about all these other times everybody else broke up with you, and how, you know, something must be wrong with you, and something must be, you know, you start thinking of, or you get in a car wreck, and then you start thinking of all these other car wrecks you've been in. Whatever it is, we start to multiply it, and it makes it this. If this one thing, if we just took it by itself, it wouldn't be so big of a deal. But now, how often do we do that? How often do we lump all of the bad things together and then we feel miserable? We feel hopeless. And here's the interesting thing. Do you notice we don't do this for the good things? I mean, we hardly ever do this for the accomplishments. When we have something good happening and then start to think about all the other wonderful blessings in our lives and let them stack up and keep us feeling great when times get tough. You know, that's something that would be really great to do. When times get tough and times are hard, if we sit there and we start making a list of, remember when this thing went good, remember when this thing went good, remember when that person just anonymously paid for our meal, remember when this, and you start thinking of all these great things, but that is so rare. We have to be in like such a bad place and someone has to tell us, get out your journal, start making a gratitude list, you know, remember all of the good things. So listen guys, it's really important for us to take time to really notice, remember, and pay attention to all of the good stuff that happens and use that as fuel to remember and be grateful for when the rest of the junk happens and it threatens to pull us down into a dark and pitiful place. Let's make a habit of keeping track of all of the wonderful bits and pieces from life and spread them about. Spread them about like confetti that even after a party, even after you've cleaned up, you keep finding little bits and pieces of confetti weeks and months later after you've picked up. And then you can pick it up and remember that good thing and smile and remember those good times. That's what we need to keep track of. That's what we need to remember. Let those good things that have happened in our life just explode like confetti so that no matter where we are, whatever tragedies are happening, when the juice spills over on the floor and you're thinking, I gotta clean up this mess now again, I'm always cleaning up messes after you, you find that little piece of confetti and you remember. Remember when my 3-year-old gave me a hug and said they loved me. Remember when the neighbor guy brought me flowers when I was recovering, and just start making a list of all the good things and let them stack up for you. Live true, love hard, shine bright.